Hello everyone, we are coming back to Dark Souls 3 and this will be a video that I kinda had a concept for a couple of days ago. I didn't have internet, so I was stuck at playing Dark Souls offline, and I made two characters which are, both of them are in the first area of the game after tutorial boss, and I decided to go for two archetypes. One is the Pyromancer and the other is the pure melee character. And this will be sort of a tutorial for complete new players or people who want to start a melee character and don't know much about the game. I will be talking about some very basic mechanics and how can you um, pretty much make the game easier for you. It's not for people who look for a challenge, unless you treat playing melee character or pyromancer character as a challenge. But I want to show you some stuff that is not really given directly by the game, but that you may want to know. And I will be doing all of this in the first area of the game after tutorial boss without killing any other bosses. The reason is that before you kill the first boss, the tutorial boss, you cannot level up. And then you can level up, but you only have access to one area. And after that you can go to pretty much two ways. You can either go for very end game boss and try to kill him, which is for most players impossible, especially without help. Or you just go the normal way, but if you go the normal way you can get stuck on the first real boss, which is Wort from the Frozen Valley, I guess. That's the name. I'm playing Polish version, so I'll be trying to translate most of the stuff. And basically you can get stuck on him, or you can go in the next areas under-leveled, or you can miss some items in the first area and make your later progress harder. So this is a character made entirely in the first area of the game. Now let's look at the... wait a minute, I have to switch probably to quitting. Yes, this took me 17 hours and 19 minutes. I'm level 57 and I didn't kill the first boss. So that's how long it takes if you play a melee character only. This is also a cosplay of a Lothric Knight. The whole idea was to make a purely knight character, purely melee character. And I'm, as you can see, using Lothric Knight armor, Lothric Knight shield, and claymore. Claymore is not a Lothric sword, it's actually bigger sword, and I will explain why in a moment. So first I will go into the stats, what I put points into and why. Vitality is 27 because it gives us 1000 HP. I want to have 1000 HP to have bigger margin of error, to be able to measure the damage taken, because I can see it in percentage. For instance, if I take half the damage, I know it's 500 damage. I can assess it easier. And we have 1070 because I'm using the life ring. Then we have attunement, which is 10. We're not gonna use any sort of magic on this character, so it doesn't matter. But if you want to, you can actually use magic arrow. You can use it if you want to. If you want to have some sort of ranged ability, you can use it. It's pretty much free. And the character that I chosen for the beginning of the game was the man from nowhere. So he had 10 into all stats across the board and he was level 1. It also allowed me to kill the first tutorial boss just with a club, so it can be done. It's not real much problem with it. We just pretty much hack at him, do a couple of rolls, and it's not really very much skill based, so it shouldn't be this much problematic. But if you want to, you can pick a different character. You can pick Knight, for instance, but then we have a little bit different layout of the basic stats. Then we go into this is stamina based. I'm not sure how it's called. I think it's endurance, probably endurance. Stamina is basic, just as it starts. This is quite important because stamina covers how many shots, how many attacks in a combo you can make. So we are staying at 10. I wasn't putting it higher because it would make the game easier. It would allow us to make longer combos, and I wanted to try everything just on the complete basic situation, which you will also have. You also have the same length of combo, the same amount of stamina and blocking, the same amount of attacks with different weapons. Then I added a couple of points to vigor because I wanted to carry exactly this setup. So all the rings, the entire armor, claymore and Lothric shield, you can go with 10, but then you have to use lighter equipment, and this is not something I'm recommending. Now the strength is mostly for tower shield, just in case we want to use it on the boss, which I didn't fight the boss yet, but I want to just have the option. Also it gives us a lot of scaling into our main weapon. Dexterity, I was trying all kinds of different weapons. So this is 20 to use the long spear. Also it adds to scaling for the claymore, and it helps us when we are using throwing firebombs. If we want to use them, they scale from strength and dexterity, they will be stronger. I'm not really recommending to use a lot of them, definitely not recommend buying them, but if you happen to use them, they will be stronger. And then intelligence, fate and luck are all 10, we are pretty much not using them at all. Now, what else here? This is pretty much everything. Level 57, so I stopped here. Now I'm going to show you the gear that I'm using. So this is improved Claymore plus 3. And this is the stone that we get from the Blue Knight. It allows us to have C into scaling, and it improves our damage from the scaling. So this is, in many cases, we are going quality build, pretty much like this. Quality build is strength plus dexterity. You will benefit a lot from high scaling. So in this case, this upgrade was definitely better than raw, and pretty much the best that I could think of, the best available here before even unlocking other smith stones. So basically we don't have much choice here. We can go fire, which is not scaled, we can go raw, which is not scaled, and we can go this upgraded or improved, or however it's called, this that improves both scaling, so both from strength and dexterity. And the weapon needs 16 strength, which is actually 12 if you are only two-handing, and 13 dexterity, so also you need a little bit of dexterity for this. But you can use this sword pretty fast. You can pretty much go with 12 strength and 13 dexterity, you can already use it. Then if you go to 16, you can one-hand it. And Lothric shield plus 3, of course the sword is also plus 3. This is mostly because it has very good stability for a bad shield. As you can see, all other bad shields are 45, 34, 47, 51, 45, 53. This is 58, so it's way better. It's also 100% to physical, so if you want to actually block, which I won't be doing much, you can block more effectively. And this one is later. You need a lot of strength, you need a lot of encumbrance. I couldn't use it with this setup. It's even higher stability, and it's generally for the bosses. It's not really for normal combat, you won't be even needing it. I want to have the option to use it. I was also trying to check other weapons. We have the big axe, which theoretically does more damage, but it's more clunky, and I just prefer Claymore for other reasons than just damage. And I tried a couple of weapons, but none of them was just better. I think I have, yeah, I tried Lothric sword, but it was too weak. Also, I might have the other sword. Yeah, I made it raw just for the start. So if we make one of the swords, the straight swords, with the raw stone, they will be stronger just at the very beginning. Once it starts to scale better, once we start putting points into strength and dexterity, the raw upgrade is worse. But just at the very beginning, you can use it. Just make any sword raw and use it just at the very beginning. It needs 10 strength and dexterity. You can instantly use it. Throw away the club, use this, and then you can switch to Claymore. Now, how to add Claymore? Basically, one is lying near the dragon, and the other can be bought from the thief. So you can buy it from the NPC. Or you can just pick it up. It's a slightly different weapon. It's not exactly Claymore, it's the other sword. It's this 1.5 handed, or whatever it's called. It has different skill, which you're also not gonna be using. It's pretty much same damage, and it's slightly lighter. But so you can pretty much use any of those two. But I decided to use Claymore. Now, so this is sword, shield, okay. Armor is Lothric, full Lothric. This is pretty much most defense. As you can see, less absorption. Chest armor also, especially physical, it's all of it is just smaller. So we want to use this for maximum absorption. Want to be tanky as possible. And we have rings. This is the ring we get from the start, plus 2 health. Then we have better absorption when we have low HP. This one we get from the thief. This can be found when we open the tower for 20,000 souls. This can of course be farmed and done. And we have plus souls ring. This is also after opening the tower, dropping down to the roof of our hub area and going to the let's say hidden area. It's pretty much in our hub, in our base. So those 4 rings, exactly 4 can be found as much as I know in the first area before any boss, so I'm using all of them, and that's it. I'm also using 6 Estus flasks because of course we're not using any magic, and our encumbrance is 99.8, so we can stop here at this point, being able to use those weapon and shield and entire armor and all the rings. This is how much encumbrance we need, and of course we can't really roll. It's fat rolling. I'm gonna show it. Yeah, it's fat rolling, and usually we're using this stance for blocking smaller enemies and slashing them. And if you fight something harder, we just go two-handed and hack at them with 3 or 4 attacks, depending how much stamina we have. Is it full stamina or not full stamina? Okay, so we are gonna do a small run. I'm gonna show you how to kill all the enemies pretty much up to the boss, and probably wrap up there. So I think this character can deal with the boss in case you get stuck, in case you have problem defeating him. You can pretty much just stay here and farm until you have exactly this setup. Or of course you can try earlier with less defense. A character that is clearly sword and board, this knight archetype that some people prefer to play because they think magic is OP, or they just like playing melee characters, or whatever other reason. Okay, we start from, let me think, okay, we start from here. Of course we cannot use ranged, pretty much, with this character, and we are lagging here. So for this character we want to block and slash, one shot. Okay, now we switch with F to two-handing, and we just go at him. Doesn't matter if he hits us, we just slash. Okay, 3 shots. With this firepower, it's 3 shots to kill a Lothric Knight. He did a very little damage to us, even though we are taking all the blows. We are not blocking, we are not dancing around him, we are not trying to do a backstab. This is pretty much no skill build that just works. You don't have to really be skilled, you can take damage, doesn't really matter much. And I'm killing those guys because they can give us drops. Also, it's quite important to sell a lot of drops that you are getting. Pretty much you don't need most of the stuff that you're getting, and the drops from enemies can be worth more than what you get from the enemy. Pretty much it can be like 30 souls for the enemy and 100 for the item, if you're lucky. Or for instance from knights you get 220 souls and their gear is worth 300 souls. So pretty much every drop is worth pretty much more than the enemy itself. Sometimes less, but in most cases it's worth more. So just collect all kinds of drops. Every time something drops, some of it you need, like titanite chunks, some of it you don't really need. And I'm using here only one-handed slashing and blocking. I can use now one of the potions. Also, when we'll be killing more enemies, we can get some back, some of the Estus, so we should pretty much use the first one quite fast after we get damaged, then keep fighting with other 5, and we can get some Estus back when we keep killing. Again, I'm using one-handed stance, blocking all the attacks, slashing. We can take damage, doesn't matter, but if we can, we block. 2 guys down, and we're going back here. This is sort of a run for not exactly biggest and fastest amount of souls, but just general clear. We want to have, of course, souls from the enemies, but we also want their drops. We want to pretty much farm everything we can use and farm everything we can sell, and after a couple of runs sell in bulk and level up and pretty much finish build. Okay, again, one shot. Those knives are worth 50, so this is the example where you get more from the drop than from the enemy. And for this guy we also go two-handed and just keep slashing. This is 3 shots, so no damage. Even if he hits us, nothing really happens. We can go here, kill one more guy, can drop something useful. This character is, I would say, ready. He could pretty much go for the boss, and I will maybe record it and make another version of the video in the next areas with this premise of just using everything I can find and preparing the character offline without going through the area as a walkthrough, or without cleaning everything on the camera, just saying that between this area and this area you should have this and this. So here I'm showing what you can get in this first area. Once you have it, you go for the boss. And this guy, again, two-handed, keep slashing. He probably hit me, just keep slashing. Still, 4 shots, and now heal. No problem at all. We just face tank him. We can again switch to slashing. It covers bigger arc, so it's easier to hit. Then we're gonna clear 2 guys here. I remember where they are, so it's easier. And I will try to show you how to deal with the knights, and probably they are the hardest enemy here, or one of the hardest that you can face. I'm blocking because of course he's gonna shoot again. Blocking again, no damage, dead. And just keep going. It's more souls because I have the ring, and we have slightly more HP because also I have the ring. The other 2 rings are not really used much. One is improving our healing, not very important because we have 4 flasks still, so it's not like we have not enough. And the other is only activating when we are very low at HP, so it shouldn't even activate at all. And again, we just keep slashing, two-handed stance. It goes through their shield, and it can be done even with smaller swords. But if you want to guard break and kill, you should have also high damage. 2 shots and done. I guess 1 was through the shield, then 2 to kill. It's almost 2 shots. 1, 2, and finish. Okay. No damage taken, or maybe a little bit. We should be also getting some Estus back quite soon. And again, slashing. If we don't hit him, if we don't time it right, we just keep slashing. We want to finish the entire combo every time. We wanna do this 3 attacks in this case. And if 1 doesn't hit, the 2 will hit. Then he hits us with the entire combo. We just continue and keep slashing. Now this guy might be harder. If I die, we'll probably wrap up here. Then you will have to just come back here and get your souls and try again. I will try to go right at him. I could be using the slow walk. Oh, I couldn't because for some reason my alt button is not working properly here. Basically with left alt on PC you can go slow walk, or you can use the skill, this one, then you are walking as well slowly, or you can just pretty much run at him, start slashing. Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3. Now he's probably going to hit us, it's possible. Oh, he hits us twice, we finish, done. Yeah, sorry for the button, I wasn't aware that it's probably interfering with the open broadcaster software that I'm using. Yeah, we cleaned everything, got like 3000 souls. We're gonna come back. At this point we could come back. We could also buy homeward bones and teleport and do the entire thing again, or we can finish by going this way and reaching the other bonfire, and then coming back from this way, the opposite direction. Just clear the whole thing again twice. 1 hand using shield, slashing, just keep slashing, and all that. I think we just got an Estus. Yes, we got an Estus. We go up. So it's a very effective build for this area. I think he should do well on the boss. I might be recording it, I'm not sure yet. And I'll probably also show you the other archetype, which is the caster and exactly the pyromancer, which I have already made. So we have the two main archetypes. Maybe I'll make also an assassin, I will see if I do it or not. Problem is those characters are not very different in the very first area because a lot of stuff is unlocked later. For instance, you can't really get any pyromancy spell, you can get a mage, you can't get cleric, so the whole area before you kill the first boss after tutorial, you are very much stuck to a couple of items, a couple of things, and you have to choose right and do a right build from the start, because otherwise you're just gonna struggle very much in the beginning. Later can be easy, but very first area can be just long and annoying. Of course, if you are more skilled, then you can probably finish this in an hour or so and kill the first boss. It's not that hard. But just in case you have problems, if you are a new player, you might want to try something like this. Maybe not entirely this build, but at least use it as a guideline. Get some stats, just maybe not 27 health, maybe like 18, but definitely more than 10. You want more HP than you get from the start. It's much better gameplay, much more smooth. And yeah, that will be it, I guess. So that's the full run. And then we rest here, and we go exactly the opposite way. So we start here, kill the guy, drop down, kill something here or not. We might of course get drops from these guys, if not we get souls. If he hits us, not much problem. I'm already tanking quite a lot with just the armor. Also, just having more HP looks like you are more tanky. You actually get the same damage, but it's a smaller percentage of your entire HP bar. So having twice as big HP bar is the same as having 50% reduction. So you can feel like you are tank, even though you're not really technically tank by just having more HP. You're getting the same damage, but it feels like you're tanky. So HP tank is just a very good idea. It works on every sort of damage. It always helps, and because of diminishing returns, you want to go to 27. You want to actually get those first levels from 10 to 27. Then you can stop, because you're not really getting that much later on, but you want to have this 1000 HP. So I'm gonna wrap up here. This would be my Lothric Knight build for just the first area for new players, purely melee. And I'll probably also show you my Pyromancer and maybe take the guy on the next levels, because after you kill the first boss here, the easy one, we have access to like 4 areas. So I might do a second version of this build showing you the pretty much the same stuff that I'm doing here, but with 4 more areas and all the stuff you can find there and incorporate in your build. I didn't do it yet because I'm usually playing a hybrid. I'm usually playing a tanky mage who also can use weapons. I'm going to very high levels, but I wanted to do something also for new players, something that if you never played a melee character or you find your character to be weak for some reason, I'm showing you that you can actually get pretty good stuff and make this whole area much easier for you right here before even killing the boss. So with this setup, I guess you will have much bigger chance of killing the boss if you're stuck, and it's probably gonna be useful in the next areas, especially since you can improve on this. You can definitely get more levels, you can definitely make your sword and shield to +10 and so on, maybe find better ones, we'll see it later. But as for the first area, this is what I'm recommending: Lothric shield, claymore, Lothric knight armor, and the stats that I was showing before. So thank you for attention. I'll be probably working on next videos in this mini series of sort of basic guides, but if you want something specific you can ask me. I can also do some endgame stuff for you if you want. This is pretty much my first video that is in English, and I'm trying to do a tutorial, so I'm not sure if I'm doing well. Hopefully it will get more smooth. So far I recorded the game in Polish, the entire playthrough with both DLC, but I wanted to do something for larger audience, so I'm doing my best with my English here, and I'm hoping for some feedback. So see you guys next time, in the next video. I'm not gonna prolong it anymore. Thanks for staying with me this long, and thanks in advance for all the feedback that I'm getting. See you next time somewhere in Dark Souls 3.